I most of the time have zero energy. Like I always have no energy. But aside from that, what I wanted to say was that people just want me to be quiet, about the wrong things that are going on. So they think that I ought to be quiet because the life extensions and the future technologies that they use to control people are somehow legitimate. They think that this abuse is legitimate, and they think this level of corruption is legitimate, and they think that people should be forced to be puppets against their will, and they truly believe this is all legitimate. And I just think it's just like preposterous. Like, how is it possible anybody is allowed to use this level of technology, which humans aren't even ready for? So it's not even so much like, oh, at the end of the day, this is wrong. It's this technology is like half baked. It's so not right for humans in this condition, which is the reason why nobody ought to be using humans as test subjects. Okay, and this is the reason why they have to hide this. It's like, if it were so right, then why do you have to hide it? Okay, has it ever occurred to you the very fact that you have to hide what you're doing means that it's just so obviously wrong that you ought not to do it at all? It's like, if you cannot say what you're doing, then should you be doing it? Okay? And it's just like, I'm flabbergasted. This is the reason why I look like a little bit, like, perturbed. I'm really just absolutely appalled at the fact that people just want me to be quiet about all of these atrocities occurring. And it's just like, you do realize people are being used as scientific experiments with brain chipsets and neural laces, and they're just being just tortured psychologically and physically because they're like mapping people to animal creatures. Okay? And it's just like, at no point should anybody believe that this type of experimentation is like worthy of anything. And that's the key. It's that it's not worth anything, particularly not with human IQs being so low. Okay, if you wanted to swarm humans, you would have to have IQs of over 200, like well over 200. Okay, and even then, it would be glitchy. So I don't understand why, there's this level of concern about me trying to file complaints about these tests. Okay, it's like there's so much wrong that all people want to do is to silence me. And they're willing to poison me, they're willing to discredit me in all sorts of ways, and they're willing to quarantine me in entirely different networks, and they're willing to just surround me with their agents. Okay? And you have to ask yourself, yeah, if what you're doing is so correct, then why the fuck do you have to hide it? Okay? And it's fine. Do whatever the fuck you want, but know that there were consequences like the plague, which I foretold that 2020 was going to be a huge turning point. And then I found it in the Bible. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is, the changeover of the millennium. And I'm just sitting here, like, being controlled and having them, like, do shit on my puppet strings and cause me all sorts of issues, going, okay, so they're doing this. They think that they can just continue doing this? Like, is there no ultimate judgment? I guess they really, truly don't believe that there's an ultimate judgment, or that somehow that ultimate judgment is going to side with them. And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? If that ultimate judgment is making you name your capital White House and your court, Supreme Court, that spells white supreme, calling you white supremacists when you're slaughtering natives and bringing over slaves from a land which you're not even supposed to be stealing DNA from, essentially. Why would you think that there were no ultimate justice system? Like, you really do not think that there's an ultimate justice system, and I think that by and large, that ultimate justice system is too slow in acting, okay? It's just way too slow in acting. And it's just like, surely, I understand they want the souls of these corrupt powers to be permanently done away with. I understand their intentions, but that's ridiculously difficult to accomplish, and they need to understand that. Okay, so nobody's going to be able to accomplish that, so knowing that nobody's going to be able to accomplish that, you ought to just send them on their way, you know? Just send them on their way immediately, as opposed to that. And it's just like, okay, well, you know what? Let's see what the inevitable is, which is, you think that God has never wiped all of the creatures off the face of this earth before. You really think that? Do you really think that? I'll tell you something. Jehovah promised that he would never do it again, okay? To flood the earth again, and he destroyed all things. But I'll tell you something Jehovah did not say. He did not say that he was not going to just murder all of the fucking corrupted leaders on this planet. That's something he did not say. Furthermore, there are scents of God which come after God. Okay? And so you're going to see tremendous problems with your systems. Little ghosts dancing on the screens. Little ghosts? Yes, little ghosts dancing on your screen. I know you've seen that before in the sub-basements. I know that all the monsters are just little ghosts dancing on the screen. Do you know who that is? That's my ghosts. Okay? I have these little ghosts dancing on the screen. That's right. Your systems will be completely frozen up with little ghosts dancing on the screen to be locked until you pay a ransom. And when you pay the ransom, then I might give you back your systems. But you know what? Here's the thing. Okay, aside from that, okay? Aside from the powers that I have, okay? I have other powers too. Aside from those types of powers of destroying your sub-basements, I have other powers too. Because you know what? If you're saying that there are no such things, okay? That there's no sub-basements, like I said before, I will make it true. I'll make sure that it is absolutely true. Whatever you claim, I'll make sure it's true. You claim that there's no neural chipsets, I will make sure it's true. You claim that there are no hidden networks, I'll make sure it's true. You claim that there's no quarantine, I'll make sure it's true. I'll make sure all of everything that you ever say is true. How's that for a thing? You say whatever, you don't admit it, I'll make sure it's true. Okay? That's my fucking job. Now, if anybody gets in the way of me doing my job, I'm going to be very angry. Okay? And if I'm really angry, then there's hell to pay, first of all. Second of all, there will be, like, vast attacks on people with old genetics. So anybody with life extensions will just die instantly. Okay? They'll just, like, never wake up. Everybody, every single person, you realize, like, every single bad leader on this fucking planet has a life extension. Like, there are nearly no leaders who have not had life extensions. Zero. Okay? So you want to fucking act up. You want to disobey the order. You want to do this fucking shit of intimidating me and trying to disrespect me. You want to fucking do the shit. I'll make sure that there's a disease that goes around that specifically hits the people without fucking real bodies. They're fucking, like, anybody with a life extension is just gonna die. Instantly.